The second step is cleaning up the image, which might be maybe the most important process, really overlooked by many people, thinking there's many techniques that could be the shortcut for this sort of process, but you must know there's no shortcuts. If you want to have really high quality image, and if you want to have really amazing looking image, there won't be the shortcut for you, and I do not recommend you to look for the shortcuts. In the next lesson, I will show you how you can improve and add sort of the technique that you can blend with different techniques, but there's never a shortcut. So the first thing you want to do on your image is always the basic cleaning up. So I'm creating new layer. I'm going to call this clean, and the reason why I'm creating this layer, because I always want to work in non-destructive way. If we go into retouch on an actual layer, you will be destroying the actual image. If you work on the separate layer, you always can remove the layer, and the effect that you actually apply into the image never stays on the actual image. So that's why we can work non-destructively. The second thing is there is two major tools that we'll be using for the cleaning up process, and this is of course the healing brush tool. You can press J on your keyboard and you can find healing brush tool, which we always will be using with hard edged brush, and also as a sample current below. So the layer current and below. If you only press the layer current, of course you will not be able to clean this because there is nothing on this layer. So you think you want the effect to be visible also on the layer that is below. And the other tool that I'm using is clone stamp, which I'm not really using with hard edged brush, but as we'll be cleaning, you will see the reason why I'm using and for what I'm using actually clone stamp. So how we do with the healing brush, what you need to do, you just need to zoom in and press Alt Option to take the sample next to the image and then cover the area that you want to clean. What you should see when you press Alt Option, sort of round the shape with a cross in the middle, and then when you release, you see your tool once again, and then you can cover. So I'm going to cover all of the areas that can be covered using this tool. There will be some job because this model has rather big pores, which pores are good, but as you can see, I have some sort of pores that are blended with the skin imperfections. So we need to do something with it. We need to give this a little bit of work and find this sort of spots. As you can see, it's hard to define sometimes what is actually imperfection, but in this, like, you just need to clean up the area that stand out from everything, that have different shadow, different lighting. It's more likely mean it is imperfection. We have some hair over here, but we'll use different tool for working with this. And for most of the things, as you can notice, I'm using just simple tool, healing brush tool, and nothing else than that. And what I would do over here, of course, I would go to the background and clean up this hair. I believe you had this question maybe at the very beginning, but I want to clean up the skin first. Some of the hair, you want to keep them looking natural, but some of them maybe just go too far. So if it goes too far and bothers you, just clean up the hair, shorten the up, make this a little less obvious, and then you see some hair just going in many different directions. But you must keep in mind that it's also outdoor image, it is natural image, so you don't really want to mess this up too much, and you want to keep it natural because it is outdoor image, it is natural portrait. It's not really some sort of beauty stuff. It could be, but it is outdoor portrait above all. You already seen I switch. I press S to use clone stamp. And let me explain for what I'm using clone stamp. First of all, I'm using for the rough skin texture. As over here, we can see some of the hair. So soft edged brush, that also, like, you must know that I'm giving you my soft edged brush, which is probably the best brush for retouching that is out there. I believe the ones that are in Photoshop are not so good. So I'm trying to soften the rough skin texture with this tool. Over here a little bit, wherever the hair comes too far, I would try to blend it a little. We have some pores here, I also would try to blend it. We have maybe some of the eyebrow over here going quite far, so also I would try to do something about this. And then of course hair. For the hair, I'm trying to see what's the wrong hair. So for example, I have really strong bright hair like these ones, and this is the hair that could be blended into red. So I'm choosing the small size brush. I'm trying to paint with the direction of the hair. Pay attention to the texture, because as you can see, this hair doesn't have that much texture because of the lens that is used mainly for the outdoor images with big amount of light. So it's really easy to blend this because the texture is not really priority over here. So then we have a few more, and over here we have a little bit more texture. So then we have to make our size a little bit smaller, what I'm doing, as you can see, and just blend everything what's visible too much. You don't want to blend everything, and I've seen many examples of really bad job where people want to blend too much and the hair doesn't look natural anymore. So you want to avoid the thing of going too far. And always there is this one rule: less is always more. So if you can avoid doing too much of the stuff, just stop when you start having doubts. This is usually the right point when to stop. When you start thinking, should I do more or should I not? This is the moment where I believe you should stop. At least it was always like this to me, and it's hard to describe the right moment, but the feeling, when you start having the feeling that way, it means you actually did the job that you meant to do. So as you can see, we have quite much of this hair. We have a little bit more over here on the body, which I can go back to the healing brush tool and sort out a few of these areas, simply like that. Also, we have on the part of the clothes, which is always a little troublesome. So I'm trying to sort of blend it as well over here, as you can see, because they go a little too far. So I don't think it look nice. So I'm going to shorten this part over here. I might blend this with clone stamp as well for the nicer results. Just something around that. And that would be it. Then on the back over here, it will be difficult, but choose what's next to it and just paint over this hair, because they don't really look nice. You don't want your model to look like she was not in the hairdresser or something like that. You want model look like she was just, like she just left from the salon or something like that. So her hair should be tied. She should not have this standing out hair that grow on the neck or something like that. Few over here, as you can see, I'm trying to blend this like just softly, like without too much of the pressure. And if you press too strong, it will be unfortunately visible that you are painting over here. But once you just like slightly covering this, you can see from the distance, it doesn't look unnatural. So that's what I'm doing on the top here. And pretty much that would be it about the basic cleanup. I believe this wasn't too exhausting task, and our image still look very natural. Of course, don't forget about the body parts. I'm trying to see if there is something I'm supposed to do with the healing brush tool, but we just have some of the spots that are rather natural, so I would not really remove that. I don't like this moved hand, that's why probably I will be cropping this image later. If not this, I could think of the final outcome. So there's not much we can do with the blurred part, but here also we can slightly blend this. I believe it was a little too far here. Okay. And also a little bit here. So in the next lesson, I will be showing you another another technique how you can blend with this technique for maybe better results, but do not use as a major technique. This is very important. And we had some hair over here. I believe it didn't look nice. I hope you agree with me. And okay, I think we did a good job with this small cleanup. We could tighten a little bit eyebrows. They're quite big size. I think it's just the way, the look she has. So not too far, just tighten them up if it's needed.